discrimination against women. Now, the CEDAW 1979, Article 12 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights 1976, and the Convention on the Right of the Child, CRC 1989. These treaties, as provided by Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution, are not directly applicable in Nigeria until they are domesticated by the National Assembly and in some cases by the states.
Until they are domesticated.
By the states, right?
So that's the clause.
That's the clause in there.
So now, does that mean, if we could take it from there,
yeah,
if they are not domesticated,
yeah,
can we be held bound by it?
We can be, because we signed a treaty in fact.
Even if it's not domesticated?
Why? The question will now be, why is it not being domesticated when you've actually signed into it?
Okay, part of the other questions that will arise in this is the actions that, Nigerians are talking about, can it be deemed illegal? And illegal under which law?
You see,
especially from the perspective that he stated it.
Yeah.
Because he says, listen, if I marry under Sharia law, or if I marry under customary law, and I go with the stipulations of that customary law, the English law does not apply in my circumstance.
As a concerned citizen, I think I can actually take the National Assembly of the country to the UN based on my legal right to do so.
Why? What would you be seeking?
Because I'll be seeking that we've actually consented to this law to guide child marriage, and it's not been domesticated in the country, which is wrong.
All right, so if you go to court based on that, and maybe
to the UN,
to UN based on that, and then I say, look, I'm within my rights as well, because what I've done is not illegal, because I'm obeying the law with which I signed up to. How would that fare? We have an option as a country either to opt out or to stay in there and obviously be bound by the law that we've actually signed treaties to, which is under the UN. The UN is a body that actually regulates all the countries that actually been bound by the treaty that they signed to. Okay, well, first of all, let's also say that this Section 29 that they're talking about, actually, we've heard other senators talk about it, that it does not have anything to do with marrying underage children out.
Okay.
It just has to do with your renunciation of citizenship. And then they also now, okay, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
We'll have to jump over and go for the headline news, but we'll be back to continue on this one. So we'll just keep your train of thought that way. Adeshawa Josh is standing by with the headline news. Go ahead, please.
Well, absolutely. The top story still at this hour. Governor Dambaba Sontai of Taraba State is back in the country. He arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on board a chartered aircraft yesterday. Governor Sontai was received by the former Minister of Information, Professor Jerry Gana, and other top officials. His arrival, he said, has finally put to rest speculations surrounding the true status of his health after the injuries he sustained when his plane crashed near Yola in October last year. And the arrest of some residents of Silver Estate in the Ejigbo area of Lagos by agents of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has been criticized. A family is currently in custody, detained for allegedly linking their well to a pipeline belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. Well, the family explained that the police and NNPC officials were informed and visited their premises for verification. The Niger Ministry of Health has ordered the closure of 20 private hospitals in the state for operating illegally and without following proper medical procedures. The Director of Private Hospitals and Laboratories of the state, Dr. Usman Baba Agay, says that the hospitals operated beyond their mandate as contained in their operating licenses. On the international scene, as the trial of former top Chinese politician Bo Xilai continues, prosecutors have called for a no-leniency approach. Bo Xilai has continued to deny bribery charges and said his police chief, Wang Lijun, defected because he was in love with his wife, Gu Qilai. On Sunday, the former high flyer launched a scathing attack on Wang Lijun, whose flight to the U.S. consulate in February 2012 led to a fresh investigation into the death of British businessman Neil Haywood. Well, there you have it. Sunrise Daily continues right now.
Yes, indeed, and thank you, Adeshawa. But let's let you listen to this so that we can get your reactions on this one.
under Islamic law, any married woman is of full age. That is provided for in the Quran.
Can you tell me the specific part of the Quran which actually says this? Can you quote chapter and verse? Because this is actually disputed, that there is a particular verse in the Quran that says this thing that you are claiming.
It is in Surah Al-Ma'idah.
Okay.
You see, that is chapter 4.
Okay.
What the Quran says was that any married woman is considered to be of equal position with any married man.
No, but the assumption...
And the issue is that married woman who commits, for example, adultery is different from a single girl. And definition of full age was given based on the maturity, that is age of puberty of a girl. For example, I was just looking at the European laws. I found that age of puberty was defined between 12 and 14. Sources of Islamic law is Quran and the teaching of practice of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
The Hadith.
The Hadith define what is said in the Quran. The Quran says any married woman that commit adultery, for example, must be punished differently from a married woman. And Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, for you to be married, you must attain the age of puberty.
Yes.
And the puberty age is not defined by years. As far as Islamic law is concerned, once you attain puberty,
yeah, but what is this puberty that we talk about?
Yeah. You see, it's defined by when a girl starts menstruation. So a girl can start menstruation at 9, 10, 12, 13, 15. Okay. And when she starts seeing, when the breasts, are fully matured. And so it is not by age. That's what we are saying. And that is why that provision was made. As far as Islamic law is concerned, there is no difference between, you see, a man, is different from a woman. A woman can be 50 years old, but her behavior can be different from a behavior of 25-year-old man. So therefore, the maturity is defined by the age of puberty. Maturity in the sense of marriage. We are not talking of physical maturity, or we are here, the section is talking about married woman.
Yes,
who is a matured married woman? Who is a matured person? A married woman in Islam is, you cannot marry until you reach the age of puberty. Islamic law has history.
Yes.
Our basis for anything under Islamic law, it's a written law, not like an English law. A common law, you make adjustments, but in Sharia law, you don't make adjustments. You make interpretations where necessary.
Yes.
But this age of puberty is clearly determined by the nature of the girl, not by the age of the girl. That's what I want you to understand. Even the person you quoted, the people you quoted, did not say a particular age.
There you have it. You heard that. What do you think?
I think before he reacts to that, it's so difficult for anyone to really pick anything from what the senator is saying, because if you look at that interview, I think the senator actually was trying to bamboozle everyone, because when you talk about Surah Al-Ma'idah, it takes someone who understands the Quran. Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 4 he just quoted, has nothing to do with that.
The same way this
so that is why, that's it.
Nothing to do with child marriage.
So I'm hoping that the senator is watching. When we talk about Surah Al-Ma'idah, that's Quran 5:4 he quoted, has nothing to do with it. It has something entirely different, asking the Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, telling him what is lawful for him, and nothing about marriage was mentioned. So it becomes so difficult. It means, looks like, we're on an enterprise of someone taking us on a roller coaster of nowhere. So that is why we have to come back to look at what you're just talking about here. So because if we talk about specifics, he's not been able to give us that in the Quran or the Hadith. And so looking at this act now, perhaps domestication of this, will this help us if the National Assembly, which he also is a member, help us if we finally domesticate this? Would it lay to rest all of this talk about child marriage or no child marriage?
I think it's to some extent. But